Welcome back to the Fab Fatties. Today we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, what's going to be on our plates, how to set boundaries with family members and friends, how to navigate our Uncle Eddie while we're trying to fill up our plate, and all of the social things that go around a celebration with family and friends and our bodies. My name is Rebecca.
Alyssa. And I'm Allie. Let's start talking about Thanksgiving.
Let's go.
We're getting into the holiday season, right? We're getting to the November season. We're getting into the holiday season.
We're getting into the seasonal depression season.
We're getting into the sad. Sometimes we're bad bitches, sometimes we're sad bitches. And honestly, for some of us, that shit's year round. But let's talk about some boundaries. Let's talk about, the fun shit we put on our plates, the bad shit we put on our plates. And I do mean just, the trauma from our families. I want to know, I want to know what's some of the worst shit that you hear around your family's dinner table. Or, if you do have a more, inclusive and more inviting and more welcoming family, have you ever been in those situations before? I want to know.
Hey everyone, did you know that the Fab Fatties are on Patreon? Yes, we are, and you can follow us for more behind the scenes chaos. We have bloopers, we have Allie raging, we have, me climbing out windows. I don't know, we just have a bunch of crazy stuff over there. Yeah, so you can find us on Patreon. That's PATREON
.com/the Fab Fatties.
PATE.
No. PATREON.
That's what I said.
.com/the Fab Fatties.
And we will see you over there.
Before we get back to the episode, we hope you'll stay around to the very end where Lucky will give us his thoughts on Thanksgiving. Yeah, honestly, the first time I can think of being at a family party and being shamed for eating, I was probably 7, 8. It was a 4th of July party, and I remember coming in to get food, and my Uncle Eddie, who
We hated Uncle Eddie.
he got divorced out, so he's no longer my uncle.
I do have an Uncle Eddie.
Ex-Uncle Eddie.
Ex-Uncle Eddie. I'm sure a nice guy now. He seems to be nice in his older age. He might still shame me for my food. Who knows? He commented, I came in to get some food, and I just remember him saying, "Back for seconds already." And I have no concept or memory of what I ate that day, how much I ate that day, how quickly I ate that day. It, quite frankly, was not something I was aware of as a 6, 7-year-old. But that was the first time that I remember an adult saying something about what I was eating, and it being an adult that it felt judgmental or like I was doing something wrong, even though I did not see anything that I was doing that was different from the other kids popping in and out, getting potato chips, getting whatever it was at the family gathering. And then since then, I think in general, what I mostly experienced is the guilt talk around eating. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I'm only doing it today, or I'm gonna have to not eat tomorrow to make up for this, or I don't want any leftovers because I've already done enough damage. All of those kinds of comments. I will say a year or two ago was probably the first time I had to set a boundary, and we were at a family member's birthday party. And someone had come in to the party who had lost a lot of weight. And they were like, "Oh, have you seen so-and-so? They've lost a lot of weight. I wonder how they did it, da 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 da." And I just, from multiple, every single time a new family member would come in, it'd be like, "Oh, have you seen so-and-so? Have you seen so-and-so?" And I just had to be like, at what point did so-and-so say we could talk about their body?
Nice.
At what point?
Yeah.
At what point were we doing this? At what point did we decide this was the conversation of the day?
Yeah.
And I know that they were kind of okay, you shut us down, and I do remember my dad saying, touch me and saying, "Sorry." Probably the first time I had some kind of acknowledgement of
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in that moment, it was more so we shouldn't be talking about people's body. Like, yeah, this kind of is shit. Even if in the context of that conversation it was celebratory towards that person, right?
Yep.
They're
Air
getting
quotes.
positive, yeah, air quotes. They're getting positive recognition for having lost weight. Um, or if they more so were like, oh, sorry, this is negatively affecting you. Um, so I don't know to what extent they understood why I was saying that, not
Sure.
just for myself, but also because that person is so much more than their body. And did not opt to be the conversation of the day simply because they have a body.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then, my family very rarely says body things about other people, and almost all of it is self-directed. So it's more so hearing them talk about their bodies and their food and their guilt and shame. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, getting into the holiday season, me and my sister Ashley were on the phone and talking, and I think what's really interesting is Ashley remembers so much more of the comments and conversations than I do. And I think this is part of my journey right now is I have turned off so much of it
Yeah.
that I actually very commonly right now I'll be just like going about my day and a really intrusive memory will pop up and I'll be like, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
it's part of like my healing right now. I will say on specifically my dad's side of the family, which does have um folks in larger bodies and does have a history of diabetes. Um everything is loaded. Everything had an underlying meaning, message around food and bodies. I will literally, me and my sisters talk so much. I was raised by my mom and dad. My dad's oldest sister is my Aunt Jean, who has been in a relationship with my Aunt Jo for my dad's entire life. So Aunt Jean and Aunt Jo did not have kids of their own because it really was not like common with gay marriage. So I had like bonus parents.
Yeah.
So Aunt Jean and Aunt Jo, we spent a lot of time at their house. They have not missed any major life event ever. They actually married me and Billy. So like the relationship there is strong. And they will always comment on what you're wearing, on how you look, because that's what they do to themselves. It's normalized. It's not intended to be hurtful. Although it lands really hurtful. I remember for literal years, every single time we'd meet up around the holidays, we'd say hello, and they would turn right to Billy, Billy, you look so good.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, I know you didn't say I look ugly, but you, every single time I'm getting ignored, it sends a message.
Yes. Yeah.
It sends a message.
Yeah.
Whether you're trying to send it or not.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of diet advice, and there's a lot of Aunt Jo is a type 1 diabetic, has been her whole life. That's type 1, just to clarify. And Weight Watcher recipes are really good for diabetics because of the low carb. So all they cook is Weight Watchers. And that's fine. It just doesn't need to be like announced. It doesn't need to be like a badge of honor. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Everything growing up was, oh, I'm not eating that. Or, oh, too much bread. Or, oh, we got to go walk right after we eat. Like it's so ingrained that it's really hard for me to pull it apart. My earliest memories are absolutely elementary school for comments around food and body landing and me being aware. And I definitely remember feeling like pressured around the holidays to do certain things in order to like perform as a fat person.
Okay.
wearing specific clothing,
Sure.
making sure I'm part of the family walk after we eat, even if I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like definitely need to perform to pull back and minimize the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's so difficult is, as a Italian family, food and our table is so ingrained in our culture
Yeah.
that like we spend a lot of time around the table and around the food, and it's weird that we do this and yet there's an expectation that like you shouldn't be
Yes.
indulging, like you shouldn't be enjoying,
Yeah.
or like you should only have X amount,
Yeah.
even though we sit at the table for hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that was a lot of word vomit and not a lot of context, but I think I'm still trying to like pull through the pieces for me of
Sure.
like where the messaging all came from.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, your comment about Billy getting the compliments. it is weird because like it's indirect, right? It's an indirect
Yes.
note. You know, like, my cousin growing up was always called Pretty Face, and
I hate that.
she was always deemed the pretty one. Like I don't think it did her any favors either to have her value reduced to her image, you know. But she was sweet face. She was pretty face. My bangs were like this, and I was not getting called sweet face or pretty face. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I never grew up thinking I looked nice, and it is interesting. That's not what come to mind. It is interesting. It is interesting going into the current holidays because last year when I saw my extended family, I was probably at like a lowest weight I had been at in a while, and now I've gained some weight back. So very curious how that will go, and if that will prompt conversations. That said, I do know that like one of my aunts is very much so like investigating her own relationship with food right now, and like fat phobia, and like so I feel like I have an ally there I didn't have in the past.
That's
So
nice.
also
Yeah.
curious how that will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Allie?
Honestly, I don't really know that I can like pinpoint one specific moment in time. There was only one like body comment that really ever stuck with me throughout my life, and I think I talked about it on a previous episode. And it wasn't around a holiday. It was during high school where I was literally starving myself, and I had lost a bunch of weight, and I hadn't seen my grandmother in a while, and I walked into my house after school one day and my grandma was there and she goes, "Oh, Alex, you got so skinny. What'd you do? Learn how to shut your mouth?" Yeah.
I remember that
But
comment.
other than that, a lot of talk about being bad. Oh, I'm being so bad. I'm being so bad and getting seconds. I'm being so bad and getting dessert. I'm being so bad and doing this. And so I didn't really like growing up, I didn't really understand like how harmful that is until, spending the last year and a half uh with my mother and hearing it and understanding like, oh, this is why. And not entirely why, right? But like this is a big reason why I think I'm bad when I want a second helping, when I
Yes.
want dessert, right? I think I'm inherently bad for this, right? And there was also an added level of with my dad having, I don't know how to say this. My dad wasn't super mobile um, growing up, and it was a lot easier for him to ask for somebody else to go get his plate. And I felt a lot of shame in getting two plates.
Yes.
I felt a lot of shame and like having to be like, oh, this plate isn't for me. I promise that these aren't both for me. And I like looking back, it wasn't that my dad didn't deserve to have that plate, right? It's just I'm associating like I'm being bad because I have all of this food and it's not all for me. Don't worry, like.
Yeah.
But I associate all of these different things with I'm being bad. I'm being so bad, and like you said, Alyssa, like, constant talk about, what diets we're doing and what, the Weight Watchers points and this and that. And I mean, I did the last time I tried to set a boundary around food talk and diet talk was the last time I talked to my sisters because I one of my sisters was doing this extremely, extremely restrictive diet. And she sent a picture in our family group chat of literally like those paper ketchup cups that you
Mhm.
get like at McDonald's or something that you fill up. She got that size ice cream
Hmm.
and said, "My husband and I are cheating tonight and sharing this ice cream." And I literally was like, "Hey, so I'm on a journey here, and could we leave this out of the family group chat?" To be fair, I had to leave my dead dad out of the family group chat, so I thought it was a fair trade-off. Apparently it wasn't, and that was the last time I spoke to my sisters. But anyway, this is gonna be a fun holiday. This will be
Yeah.
my first Thanksgiving without any of my family. But yeah, I'm still, deciding which one of you I'm gonna. Honestly, I think Alyssa's winning. They have antipasta, so.
We don't do Italian stuff on ours.
Sorry, girl. We don't know. We literally do not know how to do a holiday without Italian, to the point where we actually have deemed Christmas Eve, like Christmas Eve, we do the entire Italian spread, so that on Christmas we can do like a ribeye or something different.
Love
Okay.
that.
So I'll be over Christmas Eve too then.
Yeah, no, for sure. My mom, I will say, the past couple of years we've switched it up, but usually my mom makes the most ridiculous homemade chicken parm dinner on Christmas
Oh
Eve.
my god.
Oh my god, so good. Literally, my mom is out of this world. And when we get together with my dad's side of the family, my Aunt Donna makes homemade manicotti for Christmas Day. I know, as like the appetizer for the meal. It's so crazy. My Italian family goes hard, dude.
My dad's the Italian one, and
Mhm.
it makes a difference because he doesn't cook. He makes his mom, my Nona's, lasagna once a year,
Okay.
and it is delicious. And thank you, Dad. Maybe for Christmas, Dad. I'm just
Just throwing it out there.
Just in
putting it
case you're
out there.
seeing this, Mr.
my
Agosta.
mom used to make goulash.
Goulash.
What is goulash?
It's
This is the fun part of the episode. Now we talk about the food. Let's go.
it's pasta and a meat sauce, but the meat sauce has tomato soup in it, not just like
Interesting.
like a different. It changes the flavor with tomato soup in it.
What type of noodle? It sounds like it would be
like
one
an
of the-
egg spirally noodle type thing. But it's gotten too labor intensive. My parents are in their mid-70s,
Yeah.
and they have fully so let me just say the saddest Thanksgiving I had. Sorry, Mom, love you if you're listening. My mom outsourced our entire Thanksgiving meal to Publix one year.
Okay. She was just burnt out.
Burnt out. I can't remember if this was COVID year or what.
Okay.
The entire meal came from Publix, and the entire meal came from Publix. I mean, like, you could tell this was some mass-produced food, you know?
Oh no.
And since then, my sister married a Southern boy named Brandon who loves to cook, and
we love that.
he especially loves, like, meats and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So last year we got a fried turkey for the first time. He fried the turkey for us.
Interesting.
It's very juicy. It's very good. It's not breaded. It's just fried
Yeah.
in oil and
Mhm.
stuff. So he's doing that again this year.
Okay.
And then
Hell yeah.
Jordan's coming to my family's Thanksgiving. And for those that don't know, Jordan is a black man coming to a very white family's Thanksgiving. And he's like, "Well, what are y'all making? You know, what are you?" I'm like, "Oh, a casserole." And he's like, "Y'all have a bunch of casseroles for Thanksgiving?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we have goulash.
He's like, "So we're not going to do green beans. We're going to do green bean casserole."
Yeah.
And actually, Katie is doing a pot of green beans, so he's down one casserole from what I expected there to be.
Okay.
But we're definitely having cabbage casserole, which I love.
Cabbage casserole.
Yeah, and like it sounds
Please
like
explain.
it's like cabbage cheese with like the Ritz crackers on top. I don't know what they do, but they make cabbage delicious. Okay.
Is there any meat or anything?
No,
No, it's cabbage.
it's just a vegetable casserole.
Just like, a green bean casserole doesn't have
Yeah,
meat
yeah.
in it.
I hate green bean casserole.
Oh.
To be fair,
I
I'm not a green bean
love-
casserole either.
To be fair though, I had literally the best green beans I've ever had in my life last week. Billy made dinner.
Oh. Does he make it with like bacon and stuff
Why
in
are
it?
you looking at me and asking me that question?
You ate it.
Yeah.
No,
Did it have
had, like,
bacon in it?
It had to have it had garlic, maybe some shallots, but he put white balsamic in it. Oh
Mm.
my fucking god!
I
These are
love
the
green beans.
best green beans I've ever had in my life. I can't ever
You
go
don't
back.
know what's in your recipes, and you don't know what's in your house. Don't ask.
It's not her
questions.
recipes.
Yeah, they're not my recipes.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
hate green bean casserole with a passion.
and then I told Jordan how I make the macaroni and cheese, and
I want to hear how you make it.
Oh no.
the one I do has egg in it, and it has like cream cheese in it and cheddar and all this stuff, and it becomes this really like thick with like globs of cheese in it.
Oh, it's like
It's baked.
glunky.
Yeah, it's glunky. It's chunky glunky.
Well, it's a white girl mac and cheese. There's cream cheese.
Yes, and he's gonna do the mac and cheese this year, and I always make my aunt-in-law's mother's yam recipe, which has like a flour salt mixture on top. It makes it like this little like crispy topping. It's really good. But anyways, yeah, he's prepared for a white family Thanksgiving, and he's gonna have to get ready for it. But yeah, so our Thanksgiving is we always do that, and then we go to my brother's house for desserts in the evening, and that's the more extended family. So Thanksgiving is immediate family without my brother's family because they go to his wife's family, and then we see them for the dessert thing. They're moving that to the next day now. So we're gonna change it up. I'll probably bring an appetizer because you can only, I don't know, I only want so many sweet things. So
Yeah.
That's
I might
fair.
do an appetizer. But yeah, my thing that I always make is like the yams dish.
Okay.
And it's because it's my favorite dish.
yeah.
And one year my mom didn't make it and did Publix.
Oh
So to
You're
take
ready
it back,
to throw hands.
I had it. If I want it
no.
there,
Throw hands.
I gotta make it, right? So now my mom contributes the canned cranberry sauce, which actually we do prefer over real cranberry sauce.
100%. However, if you give me the canned cranberry sauce that doesn't have the can lines and it's that whole cranberry bullshit, absolutely
No,
not.
I want to see the
that's a
can
hate
ridges.
crime.
Yeah, I want to see the can
no,
ridges.
no.
I want to see the can ridges, and she's gonna provide the gravy. So go, mom. We like exactly what you contribute.
Okay.
God, I love
Gravy is a hot commodity at my house. And I didn't
Okay.
realize it was such a thing until Billy started coming over for Thanksgiving.
that. I can't
and-
wait for this because I have another debate to talk about.
So me and my sisters apparently bathe in gravy to the point where Billy now, whenever we have a meal with gravy, doesn't matter if it's the holidays or not, Billy will make sure that him and my dad get the gravy before it comes to us because there won't be anything left.
Oh my God.
My mom's like, my mom will make more. It does not matter how much more you make. The gravy is going to the Koya girls. we throw down for some gravy.
I love that.
I only like the KFC gravy on their mashed potatoes. Otherwise, I don't eat gravy.
Why are you talking about KFC? For those of you who
Pre-party today.
yeah,
Oh my
Rebecca
God.
literally just walked into the studio with a small thing of cold mashed potatoes
Listen,
and
I
gravy.
fucking respect the shit out of it. Rebecca always comes prepared with snacks.
I know.
So I'm gonna get into like my ex-family traditions of what we always made, but I have a question:
Please.
stuffing or dressing?
I always called it stuffing.
Oh, I've never heard dressing. We've only called it stuffing.
Okay, so I think is your family from? No, your family's from here, right?
My parents grew up in Michigan.
Okay, all right. So I it has to be a northern thing. It has to be a northern thing because my family calls it stuffing. Your families call it stuffing. Everybody down south, it's dressing. They call it dressing.
I've never heard that.
Dressing is for salads, and that's a liquid.
100%. But they call it dressing, and it's like dressing is not made. They don't put it inside of the bird. It just cooks outside of the bird, and it's stovetop. But I've seen it for years. It's been It's been stuffing or dressing, stuffing or dressing. It's fucking stuffing, and I will say that I feel like my mom's stuffing is probably disgusting when you think about how it's made, but it tastes so good. It tastes so good. And it's really just so easy, but like it's wet bread. It's like wet bread that you ball it up, you throw it in a pan, but there's so much butter and garlic and paprika and oh my God, it's delicious. And celery and the onions and everything. Oh my God. But I would always every year help with Thanksgiving. I was always because I never really had like a normal like 9-to-5 job. I was either in the restaurant industry or I was in real estate or whatever. I was always the one that was available the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I always did I helped to the meal prep the day before. So we did the stuffing, we did the mashed potatoes. Oh my God, the mashed potatoes, insane. So much Parmesan cheese, so much sour cream, so much butter. Oh my God, insane. So fucking good. But my specialty on Thanksgiving is my chocolate pecan pie.
Which I still haven't tried yet. And
I'm going to make them this year. I'm going to borrow one of your kitchens. I'm going to make them this year. But I'm not going to cry right now. That actually started with my dad. Ever since I was little. That was the one thing that my dad loved to make every year. And he would make them for Thanksgiving. And I think as soon as I was like tall enough to help him, I would start helping him, and I would help him crush out the pecans, and then I would help him lay the pecans on top because there's a very intricate little pecan pattern on top. And I love doing it with him every year. And then it got to a point that he couldn't do it anymore, and so I did it for him. And it's so funny because we have this one cookbook that the recipe came from. Literally, that is the only recipe we've ever used from this book. And when I open this book, I still have it. When I open it, immediately opens to that recipe because that is the only recipe that we've used. Yep. It's so fucking good. It's so good. But yeah, that was my dad's favorite. I love it.
Yeah, super special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you made it last year and sent it to James, and I was like, "Oh, lucky boy."
I did.
Yes.
I did. I sent James a whole bunch of treats last year. I made him. Well, I think for Christmas actually, I made him cookies. I made him brownies. I made him chocolate chip banana bread, which I need to make for you. I made him the chocolate pecan pie. Yeah.
I think this is really what's at the core of why this is important to talk about.
Yeah.
Because, like I said before, the table is part of my family's culture.
Yeah.
We sit and gather and connect at a table. We sit and gather and connect through food.
Right.
And I think the importance of talking about this is to do away with the shame.
Yeah.
There should not be any shame about enjoying a meal that comes once a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even if you have it more often throughout the year, it is a special time when we are gathering with others. And like the holiday spirit, like it is an energy, it is palpable, it is something we talk about, right? So I think for this next part of the episode, let's really talk about how we hold on to that holiday spirit. How do we hold on to allowing ourselves to enjoy the food and keep the joy that we want in our space and not allowing others' thoughts and beliefs to affect the way that we view ourselves?
For our viewers and our listeners, we've decided that in figuring out how to keep the joy in the holidays for ourselves, we've come up with
a radar.
A scale.
I like that.
A scale, if you will, of boundary setting. Boundary setting around the holidays, around the table, right? So we have from Rebecca,
which will be our
most gentle of boundaries, to Alyssa,
which will be like a little bit of spice,
a little sugar, a little spice, everything nice, to Allie,
which will be ice cold,
cold, burn it all down.
ice baby.
I mean, I just feel like
you set the boundary and they're gonna know that they crossed
they're
it.
Gonna
they do
know
it.
They crossed that boundary.
Yeah, the boundary will be clear.
Yeah, because to be fair, it's not that I don't recommend using my tactic for someone that you haven't set a boundary with already. This is like my kind of meter is like, this is someone you've already communicated this with, and they're really just they're just
not getting it.
It's time. It's time. Yeah, so we're going to do a little role playing for you guys because we want to send you into your holidays equipped, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's good practice.
Yeah.
I have for sure practiced saying some of these out loud.
I love that. I like to go off the cuff and just come up with the shittiest thing I get. No, I'm kidding.
I freeze up.
Yeah, I feel like you should say something to me and I'll show one response, and you should say something to me and I'll show another response.
That's absolutely what I'm going to do.
Okay. And there is no saying that any of these are the right responses.
No.
This was just a little toolbox.
Yeah. Let's start with just food, because I feel like this is the easiest one. It's come up already. Let's start with reactions across the board for, oh, you're going back for a second plate already. What would you say?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just yes.
Yeah. I love a short response and a long gaze.
Oh.
Oh.
I love that.
Ooh.
I love a short,
short
response and a long gaze.
gaze.
Somebody put that on a motherfucking t-shirt for me. I love a short response and a long gaze.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
All right, Alyssa. Oh, you're going back for seconds already?
Okay, mine might be too spicy.
That's
Like,
Spice
hear me out.
away. Dash,
Okay.
dash, dash.
Prompt me.
Oh, are you going back for a second plate already?
Yeah, I'm having a second plate just like you have a second marriage.
Damn it, that's exactly where I was going. I love it. I love it so much.
That one's good. Okay, I have one that's a little less spicy.
All right.
Okay.
Alyssa, just so that we're, everybody understands where we're at on the meter. Alyssa did jump to the Allie scale. So she's going to take it back down to the Alyssa
Yeah.
scale.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with the second marriage, just as much as there's nothing wrong with the second plate.
Thank you.
Exactly. There's
I'm not
absolutely
here to
not.
shame.
No.
Okay. My more gentle response was like, "Are you watching me eat? Why are you so obsessed with me?
I love that
love
one.
that one.
So
Yeah.
obsessed with
I
me.
love that one. I love that
You're
very
such a
much.
Stan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, shit, you already took my response.
Sorry.
So I need a new prompt.
Okay.
Okay. We're walking in to the holiday. Oh, Allie, it looks like you've gained some weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, looks like you gained some fucking audacity.
Okay, let me do another one for you.
Okay.
Oh, Allie, you're bringing that chocolate pecan pie. Looks so good, but that's just too much sugar for me.
Well, you're too much of a bitch for me, Grandma, so.
Oh my gosh.
That is, to be fair,
I know, I'm
that
deceased.
would work with my grandma. Rest in peace, Grandma. Because of the fact we did have that kind of relationship where she when she made that comment to me about my body, I was like, you know what, Grandma, I love you so much, and I do hope that you live to see your birthday next year. So it would work
Yeah,
with
it would
mine.
work.
Maybe don't try it out on your sweet
Yeah.
Grandma Lou, but on mine it would have worked.
I would have gone with a classic Taryn response on that.
Let's go. Okay. Hey, you brought that chocolate pecan pie to dinner, Alyssa. It looks delicious, but I can't have it.
That's so sad for you.
I like it.
Just saying.
It is. It's a little spicy.
It's so
It's a little
sad for
spicy.
you.
Let's take it down. Let's take it down to the Rebecca meter.
Oh God,
More
what is
for
my
me.
meter?
Honestly, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I it's so sad, but I'm like, if someone were to say like, "Oh, you have that? Looks good, but it's too basically fattening, right, or something like that," I'd just probably be like, "Oh," and that's why my responses don't get much reaction.
Oh.
I love that.
Wow.
A short response and a long gaze.
I feel like we gotta change our meter here.
Yeah, my response is
feel
almost like a no response.
I feel like there's just a dismiss.
Yeah, it's a
Rebecca's going to be dismissive.
literally, you know what the funniest thing is? I think the reason I said something the one time that person's body was being talked about is because they were not involved in the conversation, and it wasn't
Well, and they were continuing
and it was so like at first they're saying stuff and I'm just like, I'm giving the non-response, right?
Yeah.
But then every new person comes in, I'm like, what are we? Does this person just volunteer? Like there's a point where I get there, but that point is after repeated them not reacting to my non-response. Yeah. So like if someone were to say something about my food or like, and the thing is like now I will fully admit like having had the weight loss surgery, I do notice my family looks at what I put on my plate. Okay, especially my dad. Like I feel his gaze on my body and I feel his gaze on my plate. Okay. And he doesn't say anything, but I see him looking.
Yep.
Okay. I see it and I ignore it. It would have to be someone saying something to me for me to be like, okay. The other day, someone in my life came in and were like, oh, you look like you're losing weight again. And you don't want to backtrack on all that progress you've made, and that was what was happening. And at first I was like, she said, have you been losing weight more? I go, no. Like, that was my response.
Mm-hmm.
No. Kept going, right? And then eventually I was like, we're not talking about weight today.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she continued, but not to me directly.
Mm.
And so I'll just be like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing this. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And it does take me multiple pokes to get to that. But even then, I don't like to be confrontational.
Yeah.
I just want to shut it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why I think the scale is really important, because there is no right or wrong.
Right.
There is no right or wrong. It is your boundary setting, and it's what you are comfortable with, right? And you might even feel more inclined to hold harder boundaries with some people
Mm-hmm.
and looser boundaries with others because you might not see them as often.
Yeah.
Well, and also coming from someone who's had to learn, with having borderline personality disorder and having to learn about boundary setting and about, managing my own feelings and emotions and things like that, there are people that in your life that are safer to set boundaries
Yes.
with than
Yes.
others, right?
Yeah.
There are people like you two, I feel super safe to set safe boundaries with, right? There are boundaries that I would set with you that I wouldn't set with other people.
Yes.
And there are boundaries I wouldn't set with you that I would set with other people because they don't apply to you, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I even think that there's a different level. Like, to me, and this all is depending on you as a person, right? Like, if they were to say something about me and my eating my body, or they say something about someone else's eating in their body,
Mhm.
I get way more flamed up than if they were to talk about themselves, because I tend to recognize that them talking about themselves comes
Mhm.
from
Yes.
internalized fat phobia,
Mhm.
right? They're speaking on all the things we just said exist out in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
They're actively victims to it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
like,
know?
so I can still be affected by them doing that. It can still make me be like, oh gosh, they're saying they can't have a single roll, and here I am having two, or whatever that thing might be, right? It still affects me, but I take it less personally. I get less upset about it. Doesn't mean I don't need to set boundaries around it.
Yeah.
Because whenever everyone's sitting around, like, believe me, my family, I think 2 of us have had weight loss surgery. 3 or 4 of us in the group have diabetes. Of those, 3 of them are on GLP-1s. Everyone at some point in their life in my family has attempted to lose weight. Actively right now, I'd say a majority of them are attempting to lose weight. I'm going into a situation of people who have been overweight their entire lives and are actively trying to not be overweight.
Mhm.
And I'm the only one that has been part of that system, but also doesn't like how coercive, controlling, limited that view is.
Mhm.
So I probably am the one. I'm the only one that's willing to kind of push back at some of these ideas.
Yeah.
And I recognize I'm going into that space. So a lot of it is me thinking how to protect myself in a space where I know the majority are going to be thinking this way. And how do I deal with that?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the big differences is, and I don't know if this is a big difference or not, maybe this is an assumption I'm making about your family, is I know your dad talks a lot about it. I don't know to what extent your mom talks about health. It seems to make your sisters are allies to you at this point.
At this point,
Yeah.
yes.
And so you're going into maybe a little different situation than people who are currently all trying to lose weight.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have elicited might be the right word, enticed and
Elicited.
Thank you. I might have elicited some fear from my extended family around talking about food and body image around me. And I think that's okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think I have often said to the extended family, I don't need you to know anything about an eating disorder. I don't need you to do research. I don't need you to understand it. Forget about all of it. But maybe just the common sense is, let's not talk about food at all.
Yeah.
To someone who has an eating disorder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Don't say if it's good. Don't say if it's bad. Don't just say nothing. Literally nothing. Not the food is delicious. Just say nothing. It's safe. there are so many other things to talk about besides food.
Right.
You know? So yeah, I think I have elicited some fear when it comes to that because I just don't want to engage. I have absolutely just gotten up and walked away from conversations. Talk about ice. You know, sometimes I think the best thing you can do is just look at him and say, and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get up and I go hang out with my
Yeah.
6, 7, 5-year-old niece
Yeah.
nephews
Yeah,
because
fuck
they're doing cool
them.
stuff, you know, like, so sometimes it's just
Yeah, because
get
you
up
know
from the
what?
table.
Your 5, 6, 7, whatever, you know, niece or nephews, they might be like, oh, you're fat. But you know what? They don't think you're a bad person for it, right? They're just kids, right? Because they haven't been it hasn't been ingrained in them their entire lives yet,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
But so that's the thing. It's like it is 100% okay to set boundaries. It's 100% okay to tell people to mind their own goddamn business.
Yes, and let's not forget the easiest boundary to set of all. If someone's commenting on your plate, you waited all year to enjoy this meal. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the meal.
And
You know?
But you don't owe anybody an explanation.
No, you don't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, hold that boundary for
Yeah.
yourself. Like, Thanksgiving is once a year.
Yeah.
365 days. You have whatever you want on your plate. Don't let anyone make you feel any type of way about that, regardless of the size of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the food you put in your mouth, it has a taste. And if your dinner's not coming from Publix, you're probably going to like it. You know what I mean? Like, your taste buds react. Things taste good. It's okay to acknowledge that things taste good.
Yes.
There's not a morality thing of tasting food.
and it's just wild to me because like I'm the kind of person like, okay, for example, I cooked for both of you in the last 2 weeks, right?
Mhm.
And literally I when I made white chicken chili for you, Alyssa, I was like, oh my God, is Billy gonna be home soon? I want him to eat it. Are you gonna have more? You're gonna take some for lunch tomorrow? Amazing. Like I wanted her to have 2, 3 bowls. Like
Oh, I did.
it tells me that you love the food I made for you. And like that's a love language for me. Please eat 10 helpings of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that I just this notion of like, oh, food is fuel. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah, food is fuel. Food is enjoyment. Food is family. Food is culture. Food is happy. Food is all of these different things. And our whole lives, our whole entire lives, food has been at every single event. Food has been at weddings, at funerals, at baby showers, at bridal showers, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas. And then it's like, I'm supposed to feel bad about food when it's been at every single celebratory
mile
or
marker,
sad,
yeah.
you know, whatever, every milestone. It has been there as part of every single significant event in our lives. And I'm supposed to feel bad about it? No, thanks.
Yeah, I remember, this is a story that hopefully isn't triggering, but when I went to, when I was younger, I looked into getting weight loss surgery. I had gone through the process before and almost had weight loss surgery when I was younger, and then I obviously did it a couple years ago. And the first time I went, they had me see a psychologist because they do psych screenings. And like the second question she asked me was, "Do you enjoy food?" And when my answer was yes, she acted like I was not psychologically okay.
Oh my God.
And I think about that moment so much. I think if we were to survey 100 people off the street of all ages, sizes, whatever, how many would say yes? I think all.
Yeah.
Except for someone who maybe had an eating disorder
Yeah.
and has fear and shame wrapped around food.
I think you'd actually get a lot of no's.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's shame in that.
Yeah.
I think there's shame in admitting that you
Sure.
enjoy food.
Yeah.
I think for regardless of your size, I think that's like a thing.
Well, certainly I felt shame thinking that I was
Wrong.
quote unquote not mentally stable because
Yes.
I enjoyed food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For that to be like a marker of like, oh.
Yeah.
And
It's most definitely not.
yeah, and that moment just always stood with me because I think about the lady who did it, who's probably my age now.
Mm-hmm.
I was in like 24, 25 when this happened. Probably around my age now, mid-30s, in that office. And I'm like, this is a question you asked people. And your response to their answers was so fucked up.
Yeah.
and so shame driven. It just, I don't know. I think about all the other people who must have gone in there and talked to her too, and I'm just like, yikes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely yikes.
Yeah, that question just shouldn't be a qualifier.
Yeah, my second time going around, none of that came up.
Yeah.
The expectation was we all eat foods and foods don't have moral values, which I know people think is weird now to go through a weight loss surgery program, but they did have a different outlook on food than the first place that I went to.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this episode, I think it's also really important to say that just because it is a holiday does not mean we skip meals to eat what we consider a large meal, because we still need to have all of our meals.
Way to go, Alyssa. I love that.
That
and
one was for Taryn, just so I don't get yelled at.
No, and it also doesn't mean that because you got a second or a third helping that you have to work it
something
off
to
at the
earn it.
gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or run up and down a flight of stairs because you ate a cup of mac and cheese. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to earn your food.
And you don't have to spend the holiday with family.
That doesn't make you feel good.
That doesn't make you feel good, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
it feels weird, especially because we are a culture that very much does holiday traditions, right? And the same thing year after year. It feels weird to break that tradition. You might start enjoying Thanksgiving more again when you break that tradition and change it up for yourself.
I will go ahead and say, especially this year and during this heavy time, blood might be thicker than water, but it doesn't mean you can't block it. You don't have to have Thanksgiving with your family. You don't have to have Christmas with your family. You don't have to have anything with people who don't make you feel good, people who vote against your rights.
This is the thing, like, I think the goal of this podcast is to remind you things are up to you. You get to live life on your terms to a certain extent, right? We all have things that go against us that we don't want to deal with, right? But like you do get to make decisions. I do hope you feel empowered to make decisions, whether that's having a Thanksgiving meal with others or just preparing yourself and being like, I'm not going to participate. Maybe this year the thing is I'm just not going to participate in it. I'm not going to stop it. Last year I felt like I needed to participate in it. This year I'm just not going to participate in it. That's going to be my goal. That's an awesome goal. You know, like, it's up to you. There's no right or wrong. And I think a lot of choices and steps can all lead to a better outcome. You know, none of this stuff happens overnight.
Yeah.
As we finish the episode, one last thing, just in case you didn't see it. Alyssa, I want you to show off your pumpkins.
Thank you so much. I found this shirt at Green Jeans consignment sale when me and Rebecca went. You did see me, in fact, try it on my Instagram. The buttons are, in fact, bedazzled.
So sorry. Bedazzled.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
No, didn't I?
You said bedazzled.
Oh, I think I was just adding a little flair.
Change that consonant and get that flair going,
I
girl.
love that so much. Can you move your mic a little bit so we can see the bedazzled buttons? Thank you.
Shimmy it up.
So for our listeners, I have it's a denim long sleeve shirt, and the buttons are gigantic gemstones. And then at the top of the shirt, it is literally embroidered pumpkins, that also are bedazzled. And it is such an old lady shirt. I look fantastic.
I mean, honestly, you do.
No, it's so my vibe.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
I don't know what it is, but I truly do find some of the ugliest pieces of clothing I can find on a hanger. And you look at it and you're like, why or who would wear this? Like, this is dated. This is not. And I put it on, and for some reason, it works. We did find out, update, that this shirt has pockets. Which, I mean, that just brings it into immediate 10. Yeah. Immediate 10.
Your microphone went floppy.
Yeah, my microphone did go a little floppy. I gotta reset
when
it.
you got the secret sauce, you got the secret sauce, and apparently you got the secret sauce.
I got so much sauce.
And we
guys-
hope you have lots of sauce
We
on your
do.
plate.
Oh, with gravy and mashed potatoes and turkey and maybe not turkey if you don't eat turkey.
Some white
and
girl mac and cheese.
Some white girl mac
Cream
and
cheese really doesn't make
and
it good.
especially green bean casserole. Don't listen to Ellie.
And some chocolate pecan pie. And you guys, we have some really special extra content from this episode to share with you as well, and we can't wait. So we're fat.
We're fab.
We're friends.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful for all of you. We probably should have said that.
We shobbly.
We probably should have said,
We're thankful for you. We're thankful for Lucky. We're thankful for Lipton green iced tea. We're lucky for Bodell.
we're thankful.
We're thankful for Bodell. We're thankful for KFC mashed potatoes with gravy on it.
We're
And
thankful for Jordan, James, and Billy. Probably should add that in there, you know.
I mean, they're okay.
They're okay. We're thankful for Lola and Maeve. We're thankful for non-toxic families.
Yes.
We're not thankful for my family.
No.
The one side of it. Just one side.
just the one side.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. At a 4th of July party.
Oh my god, this is not happening today. Okay, Luck.
Yeah, he's touching the
We
cameras.
gotta go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. You gotta move first. He's not moving. He's literally not moving. Come on. We gotta move together. I can't get up unless you get up.
Lucky, come over here.
Come on.
Lucky, come here. Come here.
Move. I'm not kicking you out. No, you fucking don't.
Oh. I have this on camera.
Lucky says, bye, we're doing the episode without you.
While he's sitting. Okay.
Okay.
Let me do the Lucky voice for what he wants for
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
All right. Lucky.
Do it in my mic.
Lucky, we would like to know what you're looking forward to for Thanksgiving.
I would just like to let all of my friends know, don't forget to drop some turkey on the ground for your furry friends. We really like some turkey. We really like some mashed potatoes. And forget about the carrots. You guys can keep those. I don't really like carrots.
And Lucky, do you like desserts too?
Oh, yeah, I freaking love desserts. Mom won't let me have them, though. She says they give me a bellyache.
Oh, well, it is good to take care of your belly pains. We don't want none of that, Lucky. We want to have a Rhea-free Thanksgiving. Did you just throw up? She snorted.
I couldn't hold it. Oh my god. I tried so hard.
Oh my gosh. Lucky, you're famous, baby.
This is the whole episode.
Lucky, you're famous.
Lucky, what would you talk about on the podcast?
I don't know, but he's excited right now.
This is better than anything we've ever done. Alyssa, I need you to do more.
Oh my gosh. It's so cute. I'm just enjoying the moment before I kick him out. Alright. Okay, Lucky, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, Lucky. Thanks for visiting us.
Bye, Lucky.
Bye,
babe.
my fat friends. I love you.
Oh my god.
I am going to close the door. However, if I do, you will hear him bump up against the door with his nose.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Holy
That was so fucking funny.